Tennessee had 6 players invited to the NFL Combine. That is the most since 2 years ago when they had 7. There have been 329 players overall invited to the Combine, which will begin on Thursday, February the 27th, and will continue through March 1st. Now, I obviously think NFL Combines can be massively overrated. They can really be, nothing is a substitute for game tape. I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys that I think game tape outweighs everything. My philosophy on the Combine is you need to be able to prove that you can hit the bare minimum of certain physical tools necessary to be a good quarterback or be a good player in the league. But after you hit that bare minimum, I think you just got to plug in the game tape. And my evidence of that is Juwan Jennings, who, again, hit the bare minimum and has become one of the fan favorites in San Francisco because of the way he plays. So I'm not as high on the NFL Combine as a lot of people. I'm surprised that people still place so much value on it after, it should have lost its value after what happened with Tom Brady 25 years ago, and it's only increased interest since then, which is kind of hilarious and ironic. So I'm not totally high on it. However, getting invited does mean scouts are looking into you, and that's a good sign. So, Tennessee, being invited to the NFL Combine is a big deal. Or having 6 players invited, excuse me. And we're going to play hot or cold. The names are Dante Thornton, Brew McCoy, Dylan Sampson, James Pearce, Omarr, Norman-Lott, Elijah Simmons. Those are, I believe that's the 6. McCoy, Thornton, Sampson, Pearce, Norman-Lott, Elijah Simmons. We're going to play hot or cold over, this is specifically about what you guys think will happen at the NFL Combine with these players, okay? So I'm going to play a little bit of hot or cold here. And I want to first put up a poll question. Let's first play hot or cold with these guys, and then the guys that we're highest on will put in the poll question. So let's play hot or cold with players at the NFL Combine. Starting with Brew McCoy. Guys, I hate to say this, I'm cold on Brew McCoy. I think Brew McCoy is more of a gamer and didn't get the options as much to be a gamer last year because of the injury he was battling with. I think he's healthier now, but I think still he seems to have lost a step, and his lack of rhythm is going to hurt him at the Combine, and I think the speed is going to cost him. I see a Juwan Jennings style Combine where the speed turns a lot of teams away and they don't look at his leadership ability or anything like that. I think Brew McCoy is going to honestly struggle, and I'm sorry to say that, but I think he is. Dante Thornton Jr. Now, Thornton himself has battled injuries too, but I think he's fully healthy. Fully healthy, Dante Thornton is going to wow everybody at the NFL Combine. He can catch the ball. He's got good size. He's a speedster. He has the speed of a slot receiver, of a speedy scat back, but he can run routes well. I think Dante Thornton is going to blow people away at the NFL Combine, honestly. So I'm actually pretty hot on Dante Thornton. Dylan Sampson. All right, here's my hot take. I'm hot on Dylan Sampson at the NFL Combine. I think Dylan Sampson is going to run the ball very well. He's going to run the ball very effectively. And I think that he is going to impress a lot of scouts. I also think he's not going to showcase what makes him a great back, so he's still going to be undervalued after the NFL Combine, because one of the best parts about Sampson, the 2 things are his vision and his toughness. And you really can't put those on display at the Combine. And we're talking about a guy who fights for every single yard. And because of that, Dylan Sampson, honestly, is going to impress enough to get drafted, but still not get drafted as high as he should. So I'm actually hot on Dylan Sampson, but the Combine won't push how valuable he is. James Pearce Jr. Yeah, I'm hot on James Pearce Jr. I think his size may scare some people because he's a little bit undersized, but he's so ridiculously athletic. I think he's going to make up for that. So I'm hot on James Pearce Jr. The final 2 are defensive linemen, and they're kind of shocking to me. And we're going to name both of them. First, hot or cold, brought to you by City Heat and Air Conditioning.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard heating and air conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
All right, welcome back. So our final two, Omarr, Norman-Lott, and Elijah Simmons, two defensive linemen invited to the NFL Combine. I'm low on Omarr Norman. I'm cold on Omarr Norman-Lott. I think Omarr Norman-Lott's a gamer. I love his game. I think in a pass rush, he knows leverage and things like that. But I don't think he's going to showcase his raw physical tools at the Combine to impress scouts. I'm not seeing you don't have a John Henderson or Albert Hainsworth who are just physical freaks and they're just going to impress everybody, which is what this is about. So I'm actually low on Omarr Norman-Lott. Elijah Simmons, I'm high on. Elijah Simmons is a physical freak in nature who just never actually got fully healthy to play in college and then didn't play enough snaps when he was, and maybe doesn't have enough of a mean streak about him. But in terms of his actual physical stature, when fully healthy, which he is for this Combine, he will wow a lot of people who will want him as a potential nose tackle. May not work out because of his injury history, but this actual Combine, I'm pretty high on Elijah Simmons. So I'm going to take the four biggest names from this Combine, and I'm going to put them in a poll question. Who will impress the most at the NFL Combine? The biggest names from last year were Dylan Sampson, obviously, James Pearce, Brew McCoy, and then I'll say Thornton, Norman-Lott, or Simmons. And you can pick one of those. Honestly, if I'm going through those, my pick of who's going to impress the most is going to be James Pearce. I think James Pearce is going to impress the most at the NFL Combine. I think he has proven himself in a really big way. I think it's really hard to ignore what James Pearce has done and what he's been able to do. So I think because of that, I'm pretty big on James Pearce. But my second would honestly be, I'll just be honest with you guys. My second would be either Norman-Lott, Simmons, or Thornton, because the truth of the matter is I think Thornton is going to impress, and I think Simmons is going to look really, 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 really good. So those are my takes. Sampson is going to be impressive too. Don't get me wrong. The two I'm coldest on are Brew McCoy and Omarr Norman-Lott. I don't see it with Brew McCoy, and it's not his fault. So I do really feel bad for him. But yeah, Simmons is going to. Chris Campbell says Simmons is slept on. You're right. Simmons is going to blow people away with what he's able to do. I don't think people realize just how talented Simmons is. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. Because again, Elijah Simmons is a very, very, very physically gifted player. He definitely has the most to gain from this Combine. Put it that way. Elijah Simmons has the most to gain from this Combine. Now, in terms of who has the most to lose, again, that's probably Omarr Norman-Lott, because the game film is what got him to the Combine more than anything else. Brew McCoy, the game film didn't get him there. The physical stature and the physical abilities got him there, but the physical abilities didn't reveal themselves this past year. So I think people are already aware of his injury issues. So I think with that in mind, it's hard to just straight up outright say that Brew McCoy has the most to lose. I'm going to say Omarr Norman-Lott has the most to lose because I don't think he has the physical tools that match his game film. Dylan Sampson has a decent bit to lose too, because again, the physical tools, while impressive enough to get him drafted and get him drafted high because people will fall in love with them, they are not impressive enough to match his game film because his game film is so impressive. So I got to be honest, that's going to be a little bit tricky for Dylan Sampson in the Combine. So we're just going to have to see how that all plays out. But James Pearce is going to blow people away. James Pearce is going to impress everybody. And so far, I'm not teasing it, but the poll question looks like it's agreeing with me. James Pearce is going to blow everybody away with his talent and what he's able to do. And I think it's pretty clear he's going to gain the most. And then his game film, honestly, wasn't as good this past year, but that's not fair because he was getting double and triple teamed and was used in different situations that didn't always help him. So I got to be honest. I think that, again, James Pearce is just way too talented to not have the best combine of anybody here. And the players with the most to lose are Sampson and Norman-Lott, even though Sampson will still impress at the combine.